Imagine waking up tomorrow to find the internet has vanished. No social media, no Google, no online banking. Sounds crazy, right? But what if it actually happened? Let's dive into this mind-bending scenario and explore how our world would change in the blink of an eye. Stock markets would crash, unable to function without online trading. E-commerce giants would crumble overnight, leaving millions jobless. Banks would close their doors, unable to process transactions or access account information. The global economy, so intricately woven into the fabric of the internet, would unravel at an alarming rate. As the initial shock wears off, we'd start to find ways to cope. Local communities would come together, rediscovering the art of face-to-face interaction. Map reading, handwriting, and mental arithmetic would make a comeback. We'd rediscover the joy of writing letters, the excitement of receiving mail, and the pleasure of getting lost in a good book. Face-to-face conversations would become the norm again, potentially leading to stronger, more meaningful relationships. Libraries would become bustling hubs of information once again. People would dust off old radios and televisions, hungry for news and entertainment. Businesses would revert to old-school methods, breaking out the paper ledgers and landline phones. In those first 24 hours, chaos would erupt. Millions would frantically tap their phones, desperately trying to connect. But this thought experiment reminds us of the importance of resilience, adaptability, and maintaining a connection to the world beyond our screens. So next time you're tempted to spend hours scrolling through your feed, why not put down your phone and strike up a conversation with someone nearby? You never know, it might just be the start of a beautiful, internet-free friendship. How did we become so dependent on a single technology? What does it mean to be truly connected? We might realize that while the internet brought us closer in some ways, it also created new forms of isolation. But it could also be an opportunity for growth, creativity, and reconnection with the physical world around us. Perhaps it's time to take a step back and examine our relationship with the internet. How can we strike a balance between embracing its benefits and maintaining our ability to function without it? Maybe it's worth unplugging more often, nurturing our offline skills, and strengthening our local communities. This could be a wake-up call, prompting us to reevaluate our priorities and the role of technology in our lives. Panic would spread as we realize just how dependent we've become on this invisible network. Communication would grind to a halt, leaving us feeling isolated and confused. Traffic lights, controlled by internet-based systems, would blink out, causing gridlock in cities worldwide. Power grids, vulnerable without their online management tools, could fail, plunging entire regions into darkness. Water treatment plants, hospitals, and other critical facilities would struggle to maintain operations without their digital lifelines. Emergency services, relying heavily on internet-based systems, would struggle to respond effectively. The world as we know it would suddenly feel alien and unpredictable. As reality sets in, the economic impact would hit like a tidal wave. Our infrastructure, once seamlessly connected, would begin to falter. The social and cultural shock would be profound. Our interconnected global community would fragment into isolated pockets. News would travel slowly, if at all, leaving us in an information vacuum. Social media addicts would experience withdrawal symptoms, feeling cut off from their digital tribes. The loss of streaming services would leave a gaping hole in our entertainment landscape. We'd suddenly find ourselves with an abundance of free time, unsure how to fill it without our usual online distractions. But here's the thing, humans are incredibly adaptable. This drastic change would force us to confront some deep questions about our society. As we adapt to this new reality, we'd likely see a renaissance of forgotten skills. The disappearance of the internet would undoubtedly be a massive shock to our system. It would expose our vulnerabilities and force us to confront our over-reliance on technology. So, what can we learn from this hypothetical scenario? The internet has undoubtedly transformed our world for the better in many ways.